G'day, my name is Mike Goldman and welcome to On The Mic. These two beautiful people that you see opposite me are Cosplay Chris and infamous Laura. They are cosplay legends in the cosplay world, coming to you live from Archie Bros Electric Circus. Hello guys, welcome to the show.
Mike, thank you very much.
Good to see you, you cosplay freaky, geeky people, you.
You got no idea.
I'm so excited to be here talking to you about these crazy outfits that you guys wear. You travel the globe, you get to go to all these Comic-Cons all over Australia and the Middle East. And throughout the US. Where did you two meet, and were you in character when you met?
So I saw Laura for the very first time at Oz Comic Con a couple of years ago. It was her first convention. She didn't see me. I saw her. I was on the way out, had a crook day, caught a glimpse of her, and I fell in love.
Stop it.
A glimpse.
Like she was decked out in her Harley Quinn gear, but I just looked at her face. I'm like, I want to know more about this woman.
What were you dressed as?
I was dressed as Nathan Drake from the Uncharted games, so it was just I was blending into the crowd. I just looked like I'd had a rough night, that's all.
I had no idea what I was doing. That was my first convention. I was so lost. I was by myself and like everyone's taking photos, so I didn't even know where I was. It was crazy.
But she was making it look so good. She looked like she was a natural at it. So anyway, I was gearing up to do a Captain Boomerang cosplay from Suicide Squad like Harley.
Okay, but that's not his girlfriend in the show.
No, but I look more like Jai Courtney than Jared Leto, and I don't want to shave my eyebrows.
Okay, fair enough.
So I reached out to
I thought that was the lengths you would have gone to get her. You would have become the Joker just so you could get Harley Quinn.
He shaved my eyebrow once for a cosplay.
Oh, really?
And
were you just drunk and asleep and started shaving your eyebrows?
No, we just had to like do a little cut in it, and I moved, and it shaved half my eyebrow off for a good month, and we have video footage of it.
So what did he do? Did he walk up and you go, "Hey, Harley Quinn"?
No,
do you know? You go, "Hey, badly dressed drunken guy."
No, he slipped into my Instagram messages.
Oh, I did. That's how you
the
do
old
it.
Insta stalking.
The Insta stalking.
It's the new Tinder.
And I left him hanging for like, I don't know,
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2
Just
weeks
no
of
reply.
nothing.
Because I reached out to her, I go, "Do you want to do a photo shoot? I'm doing a Captain Boomerang cosplay," and I just thought I'd make a friend.
That's the best way to get in there. Offer them some sort of work deal that might benefit them, and then once they get to know you, you might have a chance.
Get professional, then get personal.
Clearly it worked, and you've got hundreds of thousands of followers on your Instagram, and on your personal one, and also infamous. Do you have a lot of blokes say, "Hey, Harlequin, how you doing?"
Oh my gosh.
I noticed you've got taken or like a picture of a ring or something on there to scare them off.
Yeah,
I always wonder about Insta girls, because there'd be a lot of blokes out there just going, "I'm just going to message all these girls and see if one of them bites."
Doesn't stop them at all.
Surprisingly not that much. I think our fan bases know that we're together and we're like the cosplay couple goals. That's the term.
Hashtag couple goals.
Couple goals.
Oh, what are your couple goals?
Yeah, in the cosplay world, there's a lot of individuals where only one cosplay is in the relationship where we cosplay together. It was like a massive thing. Everyone ships us, which is a term that the young folk use.
When you cosplay together, so you find a Marvel movie and you're two characters from the Marvel movie or the comic book series. Is that how it works?
Yeah. So obviously we did Harley Quinn and Captain Boomerang.
Yeah.
That was our first, even though we weren't a couple at the time, that was what brought us together. I came up with the concept of Pirate Batman. What Batman would look like as a pirate.
Pirate Batman.
Pirate Batman. And then Laura did Pirate Catwoman.
So I copied him.
It was the gnarliest thing I've ever seen. It was like a mix of Michelle Pfeiffer and just this dirty pirate, even though she looked elegant. It just complemented my Pirate Batman.
So that's never actually been thought of before. You guys created that. Have you ever thought of writing your own episode or writing your own comic book and sending it into Marvel and saying,
I've told Laura that I'd love to do like a fan film.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
us on a pirate ship
can't
fighting.
Draw.
because you've got so many fans. And the Samuel L. Jackson movie Snakes on a Plane?
Yeah.
That was created on the internet. So they basically said, okay, we want to make a movie. Let's pick the weirdest title. Let's pick the best actors that you like. And let's get everyone to fund it. And hundreds of thousands of people put in the money, put in the ideas. Snakes in a Plane was made. So maybe you could do the same kind of thing with your cosplay world. Because you guys are the die-hard fans of the comic books. And why not create your own? Because you're being creative by coming up with these crazy outfits.
Well, that's the thing. It's with crowdfunding as well these days. It's definitely it's within reach. It's definitely doable.
Yeah.
And how much effort goes into your outfits? How long do you spend preparing for these shows? Oh, wait a minute. Hello.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
my
look,
goodness.
we've just been brought. Bring it on down here. Put it,
Oh my
put it on
gosh,
the
I'm
table. That
overwhelmed.
is
Thank
amazing.
you. Look at that.
What is this?
We have a caramel suppresso,
Caramel suppresso.
and then
Oh
we
my
also
gosh.
have
That's
the
me.
infamous Candyman.
Candyman.
Infamous.
Infamous Candyman.
Thank you
Wow,
very much.
thank you so much.
Thank you, Archie Brothers, and here at
I'm right
Archie
in
Brothers
there.
Electric Circus. It is the best arcade in the world. It is absolutely insane. You're the best bartender in the world.
Fantastic, thank
They
you.
come down here for these incredible burgers. They got these great drinks,
Wow.
and they got dodgems here. They got zombie shootouts. They got laser tag,
Bowling.
and the coolest bowling alley. And I believe they make the best cocktails in Australia. So come down to
They
Archie
definitely
Brothers and check it out. Dress in
Instagram.
your cosplay outfit because you will feel amazing. So while you drink that and munch on your Tim Tams,
Oh my goodness.
tell me how much goes into it. How long does it take to prepare for these things?
Months. So my costume that I'm best known for is the Suicide Squad Harley Quinn, which was my first cosplay. I bought it from China at first, and it was terrible. It took me about 16 to 18 months to finish the whole thing.
What?
Because you're sourcing items constantly, always improving little things, making things from scratch. I can't even tell you how much time it took. And then you're going on forums to find where the movie accurate things derive from. So she had these hair ties, and I was like deep into the internet. I'm like, where are these hair ties from? What are they? They're actually the stoppers of walking cane sticks. So you know the rubber at the end of walking cane sticks?
Yeah.
Had to drive all the way to this random disability warehouse and shuffle through all these walking stop and things
Yeah.
and find the right two. And then I went to this one when we were courting. I said, can you please help me with this cosplay?
I need a walking cane stick cover.
I need this. And so we had to Dremel it out, paint them. It took like a good 2 nights just to get them movie accurate. And like that's just the hair ties.
Chris, do you ever contact the wardrobe departments from movies? Because people win Academy Awards for the incredible work they do in a lot of comic book films.
Yep.
And these people are easily contactable, through their own Instagram, through their own social media networks. So you just say, hey, where do you get that hair tie, or where do you get that nose clipper that superhero used, or whatever?
So like, if it's not the fans, like Laura said, when you go to forums, these fans break it down and they source it from screenshots. But
Yeah.
I've had the opportunity to go to Ironhead Studios in LA, who did Ben Affleck's Batsuit, Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman costume. They've done all the superhero costumes. So I got to take a tour of that, and you see how they do it.
Yeah.
It's doable, but in my case, if it's a Batsuit, it's like a $2,500 endeavor.
Yeah.
Because it's
And
just,
they,
it's
when
so
they're
elaborate.
making that stuff, they've got a team of 100 people.
Well, that's it.
creating
And they've got like $1 million budget.
Yeah.
They've got Warner Brothers throwing money at them.
And the best of the best
That's
in the
it.
field.
Exactly.
So
it's-
would you guys ever head into that direction and work in wardrobe on a feature film? Because you're basically making these outfits from next to nothing, whereas Warner Brothers or Universal are giving hundreds of millions of dollars in budgets for these films. You could do stuff cheaper and sometimes just as good.
Absolutely. And like
definitely.
we've got Odd Studio in Marrickville who got the Oscar for Mad Max. Like that's our number one special effects and costume.
Right, so you go to them for stuff sometimes.
I've actually gone in there for an interview with them, got to see some really cool stuff. They did the latest Pirates up on the Gold Coast. They've done
right.
Aquaman. They've done the new Pacific Rim.
Yeah, that's gonna be good.
Because of social media and how easy it is to get in contact with these guys these days. Sourcing stuff is a cinch, but it is fun. Like, it can be tough, but
And
it's
so
fun.
what's your favourite characters that you like to play, and are you going to change to any others? Because I know that you do Harley Quinn a lot.
Yeah.
You do the Boomerang Dude. What's next for you guys, or what are some other characters that you like to play, and why do you do it?
Yeah, sure. So I was well known for Harley Quinn. She's my favorite. So I definitely do a lot of her and a lot of other DC characters like Catwoman. But because I cut my hair for charity in December, I did the Greatest Shave.
Yeah.
And I got all my fans, they had the opportunity to donate. We raised over $2,500.
Did anyone ask for your hair?
Oh, no.
I've
You
got
have
it in
some
a
crazy
bag.
fans out there.
No.
Can I get some of your hair? I'll donate $1,000.
People were really upset that I cut it because it was like my signature and it was the character. So
I think you look better with short hair.
Thank
What do you
you.
think?
She does. I
Thank you.
loved it. Before she did it, I'm like, it's going to look great. Then when she had it done, I'm like, Yeah, that's.
I showed my
that's
girlfriend who I was interviewing, and her and her friend, firstly, they salivated over Chris. I'm like, give me the phone.
I don't blame them.
And this is his girlfriend. And they're going through first. Oh, she's much prettier with short hair.
Oh, that's
So-
really sweet.
Yeah, you look
That
great with
means a
short
lot.
hair. Well
Thank
done.
you.
That's cool. So where are you guys going next? Whereabouts are you traveling the globe to?
Oh God, so
Gold Coast is next.
yeah, Gold Coast got
Tell me what happens at these Comic Cons. Like you go to the Gold Coast, you show up in your outfits, you've got fans,
Yeah.
as well as the celebrities who are coming from the films who have got fans. So is it weird for the celebrities when you're meeting them and they go, "How come you've got fans?" Like I don't get it.
I guess the celebrities don't exactly know about the cosplay world fully unless they're like con goers regularly. So I met Karen Fukuhara, who was a character in Suicide Squad. She was Katana, so she was the actress there. And she actually knew me from the internet because that's her movie and her world. So that was really cool. But I think apart from the regular convention goers, would you agree that it's like they don't know fully about the extent of cosplay fame?
They get intrigued by it. I
Yeah.
did a gig in Louisiana in 2016. I was a guest there, and they had Kathy Najimy.
Who's Kathy Najimy?
She's an actress. She was one of the witches in Hocus Pocus with Bette Midler.
Oh yeah.
She's the voice of Peggy Hill from King of the Hill.
Is it bizarre? Like you see these people who, they're kind of a little bit known, but they've got a stand at Comic Con and
They
signing
do.
autographs. I met a guy from Flesh Gordon, which is a porno takeoff of Flash Gordon. And he had his own stand and signing autographs and giving out posters.
Stop
And what
it.
about this Hocus Pocus girl?
She's an actress, and there was also you remember Elvira?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was there as well.
Love Elvira.
And they get intrigued by it. They're like, "Oh, so what do you do?" I'm like, "Oh, I do cosplay." And they're like, "I didn't know it was such like you can do it on such a professional level because obviously
Thing.
they're old school with agents and
Yeah.
going to auditions and
Yeah.
stuff like that."
Yeah,
So,
and you've got such a close contact with the fans who follow you and they copy you and they want to be a part of your lives. And it's kind of the way it's working with social media nowadays. And people like you who have this incredible following, you can get out there and meet the fans and they're a part of your show. So what kind of things do they ask you? Do they like how you make an outfit or what do you talk about on your YouTube page?
They want to know where you source stuff.
Yeah, I regularly get a lot of messages from fans. Sometimes it gets overwhelming because you can't reply to all of them. A lot of them are asking for cosplay advice. And one of the main questions is confidence in cosplay, or they're nervous to cosplay and they're just like reaching out to one of their cosplay idols for a bit of reassurance that they can do it. And then other things just like, you've inspired me to embrace my inner geek, or you've made nerds cool again, kind of thing. And
I
making
think nerds being cool has happened for like the last 10
it's
years.
growing. It's growing.
Since the internet kicked in
That's
and
it.
people realised, hey, there's something in this, I can make a lot of money out of this. Everyone wants a decent nerd friend.
That's it.
We all have to have one. Keeps you grounded. I've had people email me that have had drug problems, been on the verge of suicide.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you helped them through it.
Watching what I put up on YouTube, keeping them busy if they want to tackle a project that I do, like a tutorial. It brings them out of that hole, and that's like, it's the most rewarding part. Like some of the stuff Laura gets, like her fans, it's remarkable.
Because
gotta-
you're different, and
Yeah.
people out there, they think that they're different. Some people get depressed about that, but we should celebrate our differences. And I think the
100%.
world's evolving now where people who are different are celebrated.
Well, that's the thing. And when obviously you did the podcast with Mum last week, you said something that really struck a chord with me. When we were in school, there was no class for what we wanted to do.
Yeah, it's true.
Got fidgety and that's it.
Well, I think school, when it was set up, whenever someone decided to put kids in a classroom and bark orders at them until a bell rings and then they can go and have lunch, it's basically training to be factory workers. It's like some schools are focusing on creative arts, which is great, but to make people like me sit there and listen to some dickhead bang on about mathematics for 2 hours a day and another class that I didn't want to be in on science or whatever. Let me have a class on Pac-Man or something that's going to get my brain thinking and being creative and focusing on the things that I'm interested in my life, because mate, it just makes people depressed by sitting there realizing, I have to be boring like all these people who want to be doctors, lawyers, accountants. Or I'm not saying that all those kinds of people are boring, but you know, to someone who's creative, it might be something boring for them, but someone who's an accountant, they might love that, and that's fine. I'm not picking on them. But do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
100%. I'm actually studying to be a music teacher. So I'm in my 5th year of uni at UNSW.
Oh, cool. What do you play?
Trumpet and piano.
Nice.
So I've been playing, like, we're close to 16 years now. So it's just been my whole life.
And so what kind of music?
Jazz. Anything jazz, anything classical on piano. So I'm classically trained on piano, jazz trained on trumpet. So it's a whole
cool.
realm.
I've seen her play.
Yeah?
I
Pretty good?
tell everyone this story.
Yeah.
She had like it was
It was a performance, yeah.
at uni, and it was a performance assessment. Went and watched her, and she's
Yes.
playing the piano. And at the same time, she picks up her trumpet, starts playing the trumpet and the piano at the same time.
What?
It was
Are
the
you
craziest
serious?
thing I've ever seen.
That's a standard Comic-Con right there.
She killed it. Absolutely killed it. So
Stop it.
So how do you guys make money? What do you do for a living behind the scenes? Because it must cost a lot of money to make these outfits. And like, do you have Patreon pages where the fans who love your stuff support you on, or how's it all work?
So I used to work at Qantas. I worked for Qantas Link for several years. I was made redundant. And whilst I was at Qantas, I started the YouTube channel. But when I was made redundant, they gave me the option, we'll help you find another job in the company, or, here's a package payout and, catch you later. And I thought I'd just give it a crack out on my own. And obviously things have changed with YouTube, with algorithms.
So you make your cash out of the YouTube and...
Yeah,
and
look,
keeps
it's
going.
not as good as what it used to be. I also have an Etsy page where I make this stuff.
Oh, right. So people ask you to make this stuff. What's it? An Etsy what?
Etsy, Etsy like...
ETSY, it's like a crafter's website
Oh,
where there's
wow.
a lot of handmade stuff. So
Oh, cool. Because
Chris-
I noticed on
Yeah.
your Instagram you had like this this graph, and you were copying a belt buckle from a movie. You were drawing the lines on,
Yeah, for
on
Captain
the paper
America.
with the squares, whatever that paper's called.
Yep.
And then you actually ended up making it. So you make that stuff for people and send it to them.
Well, I have friends that, that is to be CNC'd, and then I'll put it together, make a silicon mold, and then
Wow.
much like these guys come out of silicon molds, so I can make
So you
copies.
actually made these.
This is actually 3D printed.
What? Are you kidding?
Yeah, Laura's
That is
guns.
incredible.
Laura's guns 3D printed.
You have a 3D printer at home.
I've gone thirds with 2 mates, so it's at one of my mates' houses. There you go. Look at that.
Nice.
Goes well with the jacket.
What character am I, by the way?
You're Red Hood from the DC universe.
Oh, Red Hood from
Red.
the DC universe. What powers does he have? The power to drink cocktails really fast?
Smash
Yep.
him down.
absolutely.
This is my 80th cocktail in the last minute.
Doesn't feel,
I am
doesn't
Red
feel a
Hood.
thing.
Let's drink.
That's fantastic.
Nice.
and-
Would you like a must stick?
For
I'm
example,
fine, thank you. I've got my wafer. I'm more of a
okay.
chocolate person.
What do you think of the cocktail?
Oh my
this
gosh.
is really nice.
So good. Well, this one's driving, so that means there's more for
This
me.
is like
Get on
a
it.
this is like a pink margarita thing. This is really good with fairy floss on
Fairy
top.
floss. Oh my gosh. Bit much for 11 o'clock in
What's
the
in-
morning. This is coffee. Like a
I think it's got Bailey's in it, yeah.
coffee one.
I'm a
That's good,
sucker
and
for Bailey's.
I love how they stuck the popcorn around the outside and the Tim
I didn't
Tams
see
on
like
top.
there
blue.
were 2 Tim Tams. Did you want a Tim Tam?
Yeah, bloody hell.
Have a cheeky morning
You
Tim
guys
Tam.
don't want it. Hang on a minute. What's this bit do? That's like...
Slots in.
There you go.
That's going to stop me from eating.
No, you can't have that.
Cheeky straw up into the helmet.
It actually really looks good with the Pac-Man suit.
Yeah, you look great.
That's a
Thank you.
cosplay. A lot of people, there's this trend where people wear stormtrooper helmets with suits.
Yes, I love that.
And they just, like, this one, okay, here's a little story for you. Oh, by the way, for the work, I'm a trumpet teacher. Forgot about that.
Oh, yeah,
anyway,
yeah, yeah. That's how you make your money.
yeah.
Cool.
I went to Melbourne for a convention, and my best friend Ellen works for the Australian Ballet making costumes. So we met through cosplay because when I started cosplaying a year and a half ago, I didn't know how to sew at all. So I've been self-taught
So you
on
saw how to
YouTube.
sew?
Yeah.
You
so
make that dress?
no, I wish I did. But maybe I should.
Last time I saw you wearing a dress like that, it's like had pow, pow, pow written all over it.
yeah, something eccentric.
But yeah, you guys could make your own clothes and sell them for sure.
Oh yeah, it's just so tedious with full-time uni, part-time work. For me, I just can't find the time.
Yeah.
But who knows what it will bring once my degree's done. See what business ventures.
But that's a great thing about having the connectivity of the internet to people who are looking for something. I mean, you found something that you love, you find other people who love the same thing, and you can go, right, what do they need? I'm
That's
obviously
it.
making dresses, and you're making these incredible masks. I cannot believe that this is 3D printed.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Well,
And
this is a scan of Ben Affleck from Warner Brothers. This is, it's so easily attainable. This is 3D printed.
so this is all just because you didn't print the whole thing at once, like bang, it's printed. You know,
No,
it's
we
like
had to
little
splice that
parts.
up. We scanned my head to fit it over to make sure that it was going to fit by the end of it. But there's a lot of body work involved because there's print lines. So it's like working on a car body.
Wow.
Then you go to-
and then you glue it all together. I
Glue it all
guess.
together.
Was it auto paint?
Yeah, like an auto filler, stuff like that. And then you do the weathering with all the scratches. So
Wait, what do you sell something like this for?
that would go for around 400. These mech helmets is like what Ben Affleck wore as...
Try that one on?
Yeah,
Oh,
go for
nice.
it. You can still see out of it as well.
Well, like an electric shock.
You'll be fine.
It's got wires
Don't
poking out
be
everywhere.
afraid, you'll be fine. Oh, you look really good.
Batman.
That is good.
Welcome to On the Mic. Today on the show, Laura and Cosplay Chris.
That is good.
Are you ready to find out what cosplay is
voice
and what's it
change,
all
yeah.
about? Well, right now, we're going to ask them, what is cosplay? Laura, you tell us first.
Cosplay stands for costume role play. So you dress up as various like TV, comic book characters.
This is not working. I cannot drink my cocktail. We need to change this mask.
You need a bat straw.
Go, Bat Straw.
Alfred!
Get Alfred.
This is not working. Abort.
You wear that well.
Should have done the voice modulator.
You put on the outfit and you just become the
Yeah.
character straight away. Because I'm a voiceover guy for a living. That's how I
Yeah.
make money. You play the trumpet. Yeah, you make these incredible masks. I'm a voice. And I got to do some incredible voices for shows and documentaries. And I did a series for Disney as well where I got to do like 20 or 30 different voices. But maybe I need some of these outfits so when I go into the
Helps you
studio.
get into
100%.
character.
We were talking about the people that you meet at cosplay conventions all over the world. Like I went to Comic-Con in San Diego, which is by far the biggest. in
You
the
were there
world.
the same time I was
Yeah,
there.
the same time you were there.
Jealous.
I was there with a friend of mine who had a stand called Black Milk. Have you heard of Black Milk? The
Black
leggings?
I love black
Yeah.
milk. Stop it.
Are
I'm
you
going
serious?
to die. I've been a fan since I was like in year 10
Oh,
at high
wow.
school.
So what do they call them? A Sharkies?
Yeah, Sharkies.
You're a
I'm a
Sharky.
Sharky.
You're a Black Milk Sharky.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've messaged them, the guys recently, and we're going to have them on the show soon to talk about it. But they basically started making these tights years and years ago. A guy in his lounge room, and I actually did their first photo shoot. I took photos for them of my girlfriend at the time.
You didn't wear the tights?
Who is wearing the tights.
Like
Well,
the Galaxy
maybe.
leggings at the very
Maybe I
beginning.
wore the tights. But my mate Cameron Parker, who he now works for a company called Sunday Somewhere and has a mobile phone company called The Dairy, who sponsor this show as well. And like some of the stuff that they were doing with Comic-Cons all over the world, and they'd show up with the Sharkies and they'd sell leggings with everything from Harry Potter to Spider-Man,
Yeah.
Superman on them, and they have this group of people that just come out of the woodwork who just love the tights, and they call themselves Sharkies. But yeah, they were awesome. So that's the reason why I was there at Comic-Con with them, because they were setting up a stand and they'd been mates of mine for a long time. And it also gave me an opportunity to run around and interview people. And actually, let's play a little bit of my interview right now. I was wandering around the stands interviewing people about Star Wars, because there are a
Yep.
couple of new Star Wars movies were about to come out. And this is what happened.
Must be pretty cool working for Lucasfilm, now Disney.
Yes, it's amazing. They're such good people. We have so much fun. It's really, I'm blessed beyond belief.
What's your favorite color? Red. Are you angry right now? What do you do with that stick anyway? Who would win in a fight, Iron Man or Boba Fett?
Boba Fett.
How? Tony Stark's got like all those cool superpowery weapony things.
Yeah, that's tough, but I would still say Boba Fett.
Okay, cool. Steve Bloom, he plays Zeb in Star Wars Rebels. Mate, congratulations on working out such a cool show.
Thank you. I am so excited I can't even stand still.
Can you give us a little bit of Zeb right now?
No, because I'd have to kill you.
Oh, that's
He's a big purple guy, and he loves to fight. He loves to bash bucket heads together. So
he's like a hairless purple Wookiee?
kind of like that. Very much. Actually, he's based on one of Ralph McQuarrie's original designs for the Wookiees.
As you can see, I got myself in a little bit of trouble there, but a hell of a lot of fun running around meeting all these people. And some of them go to great lengths to make incredible outfits, but some of them just I found them walking around in their underpants with some text written on their chest.
Oh, don't
Get me started.
What is the go with people deciding to go to Comic-Con in any part of the world dressed like a fucking idiot?
I think the worst... Chris and I have really strong beliefs and values on this part of the cosplay world is that cosplay for sex and like soft porn. So majority...
You like to keep them separate?
Yeah, 100%.
Because these conventions should be a place where, during the day especially...
There's little kids.
Little kids could be wandering around, and when
That's
you see
it.
a big fat bastard walking around in girls' underpants and a ballerina top, it's like, how is that cosplay?
Yeah. No, it's especially with majority... I hate to say that it is a majority, but the majority of females that do cosplay for living rely on Patreon and what we call boudoir photo shoots, which is just lingerie and something like wolf ears or like implied
Okay, so I
Overwatch
understand.
character.
So that's the way a lot of them make money. They say if you like you guys do these incredible shows on YouTube. You have your own YouTube channels and your Instagram and everything like that, and celebrate everything that you do. That's amazing. But some people say support us on the Patreon page for what we're doing. But a lot of those girls go a little step further, and they say if you pay, $5 a month, you can have my WhatsApp number. If you pay $10 a month, I'll give you your own personal photo shoot. And is that what you're talking about?
The whole private Polaroids
and it's really horrible because just because we're cosplayers, we're by association, we're put into this random fetish category. And as someone who's wanting to be a full-time high school teacher in my future, that jeopardizes my entire career because then by association, it looks like I'm indulging.
Imagine, because some 13 or 14-year-old boy is going to come to school and he goes, "Hey, look at Miss Laura. She's
That's it.
the Batgirl outfit with no pants on."
Yeah, and even just fishnets as it is, like that. Like in society,
fishnets is where you draw the line.
Exactly. People are like, "Oh my god, that's like not okay, not appropriate." But I think those cosplayers, it really kind of taints the rest of the cosplay world for people who are in it authentically, that don't sell their bodies for money.
What you do behind closed doors
That's
in your Batman and Wonder Woman outfit, you just keep to yourself, but you do leave your outfits on, don't you, when you get home?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
You've got to have special panels and everything.
Special panels? Oh, you can 3D print them. Oh, what, darling? You want that special panel maybe a little bit bigger?
There's no time for action. It takes like so many hours to get the whole costume off, and then we're dying. We're like, okay, that's it. We're going to bed.
Takes an hour to get me out of the bat suit, and she's like, "I'll forget it."
What celebrities have you met at Comic-Con?
You had a good run at Ecuador.
Ecuador.
Yeah.
Because
You went to Ecuador Comic-Con?
I was flown over as an international cosplay guest to Ecuador Comic-Con.
Shut the front door.
It was life-changing.
That is amazing.
It was so cool. It was really scary because it was my first time traveling by myself. Going to South America, I've never been to South America before, but it just was sensational. So I met John Wesley Shipp, who was the original Flash, and he's in the Flash series at the moment.
Like Flash Gordon.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that was cool. And we became like best friends.
No way.
If he's watching this, he'll be like, yeah, he'll agree with me. We've got a connection. Yeah.
I thought I met him, but I was actually meeting Flash Gordon.
Oh, not Flash.
No, this guy.
I would like to meet the real Flash. That would be cool.
He has the most gorgeous white teeth. His smile just is fantastic, but just really fun guy. So like I'm photobombing all his photos, and no, he was cool. And then I met.
It's nice. It's a great community where they'll take people under their wing, especially if they're beautiful, blonde hair, blue eyes, and hey, come with me. I'll look after you.
Comes naturally.
I'm Flash Gordon.
You would know.
Yeah, he is. He's a big hunk of man. The ladies love him, and they're throwing
Just
themselves at him.
as long as this one loves me, I'm happy.
How do you handle that when all the girls are throwing themselves at him?
Oh, just knock yourself out because I trust him. I trust him.
I get messages from blokes.
Really?
Yeah, he's got a bit of a gay following.
Yeah.
So
sorry, that was just a normal message. I just wanted to see some.
Oh, I've got to get back to you on that as well, by the way.
We'll talk more about that later.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've been to Ecuador.
Yeah.
That must have been crazy. How different is the Comic-Con in Ecuador as opposed to San Diego or Comic-Con in Sydney or SidCon?
So crazy because it's so new. So that was their second year of running Comic-Con ever. So it was in this really run-down convention center, which was used for like markets and whatever. And it's the second time running it. So there weren't many stalls. It was a lot of young people. So many young people bringing this whole geek culture forward, and just a very different environment. They really embellished international cosplayers, because cosplay has been so big in the States for so many years, and Australia in the past 5 years has grown so much, but in Ecuador it's very fresh. So when I arrived in the movie Suicide Squad, Margot Robbie starts off in this cage in the jail, and they actually made me a cage, an imitation cage.
No way.
It was crazy. And then there were people lining up, and I'm talking a line of about 50 meters of people lining up to get into
meet the girl in the cage.
Yeah, to get into my cage and take a photo with me. And I'd hold the gun to their head and pretend to hit them over the head with a bat, and they loved it. And even though the language barrier was there, I'm getting hugs from people.
Yeah.
Some people in broken English say, I watch your YouTube channel.
Oh, that's so cool.
And it was just the best experience.
People from all over the globe. So you've been to Comic-Con in San Diego.
San Diego, I was a guest at GeekCon in Louisiana 2 years ago. So, that's where Kathy Najimy was and Elvira was. So that was crazy. And they're a fan, Louisiana's small. And, it was so awesome to go there, and they look after me like a little silkworm. They gave me a tour of it was Shreveport, in the little town of Shreveport. I had a guy follow me into the toilet, which was interesting.
Oh, okay.
What? I haven't heard this story.
You didn't pay extra on my Patreon page. Get out. How dare you?
There are always those people that come back to your booth.
Yeah.
They keep coming back.
Yeah.
And anyway, I went to the loot, and he was right behind me, followed me right in. I go, mate, you've just got to back off. So that was interesting. And then
people get a bit freaky, huh?
Oh, look, you got to keep your wits about you.
I think also with the geek culture, it does attract people with social
social problems.
Social problems, and you
it
have
might
to
help those
understand
people
that.
at the same time, but there are some people that are okay. Got to keep them at arm's length. So when you go to these Comic-Cons all over the world, do you guys have your own stand? Because Flash Gordon, what was his name again?
John Wesley Shipp.
John Wesley Shipp, he'd have his own stand with his poster there, and people can get a photo with him, and they pay for that, and that's how a lot of those guys make money now.
Yeah.
So do you guys charge for photos, or
we do? So we were flown to Kuwait in November, of all places in the Middle East.
And a percentage of that goes to the Comic-Con that put it on, because they're flying you there, so that's their way of recouping the cash.
Exactly.
And it must work for them if they keep flying you to all these places all over the world.
Well, that's it.
Yeah.
So we had a booth there, but it was just a plain booth. So, we had a crew that looked after us, and they were great. They couldn't do enough for us. And they'd be like, okay, put some of your prints up on the backdrop, just because that's going to be our signage. And we were selling prints. It was great meeting fans in Kuwait, of all places.
So crazy.
How does it feel to have fans all over the world for doing your cosplay?
It still blows my mind. I can't register it because I like to think I'm quite humble about it happened overnight for me. It just was boom, and then all these followers came in, and it was just whoa, but it's still just this crazy number that you look at but you can't fathom. So our friend kind of puts it into perspective for us. He went to Future Music Festival so many years ago, and there was a stadium full of how many thousand people?
One of my best mates, Pete, he looks at my subscribers on YouTube, and he measures it in Future Music Festivals. He goes, man, you're up to 10 Future Music Festivals now.
Like 10 stadiums. And then you try and think about that, and you can't fathom.
Wow.
And it's so crazy.
You could run your own Comic-Con. You ever thought of doing that? Taking over Kudos Bank Arena in Sydney and putting on an expo there. Why not? How much money do those guys make that put those things on?
Because Supernova's right next to, or out at Olympic Park, and then you got Oz Comic Con at the new convention centre in Darling Harbour now. But another great thing about this one is she's always so grounded and humble, regardless of what's happened and how It's great.
It doesn't go to your head.
No, that's it. You can't let it.
Because some people, when it's their first bit of fame, I know when I got my first radio show, and I'd just done a little.
Is that when you had the long blonde hair?
On Home and Away, yes.
Do you have hair jealousy?
And well, it's disappearing now. And I thought I was pretty damn cool. But things can go to your head, and people bring you back down to earth real quick.
Yes.
But it's good you've got each other to keep you both grounded. Does that work out well?
Oh, absolutely. We bounce off one another.
You're looking in the mirror, flexing your muscles, and she's like, "Calm down."
No, I just flex in
You're
front
not
of her.
really boomerang.
No, I asked him to flex in front of me.
She asked to give her a show and everything. So,
does anyone actually go to these cosplay things, you might have heard of any stories of people who dress as a character and actually end up thinking that they are that person.
Yes. So like Laura touched on, people with behavioural disorders, they get very into it. Sometimes a bit in your face, but you kind of just understand, how they're wired and everything. And whilst it's cool to see at the same time, like, wow, you're really getting into this.
Does it ever get to a point where you go, better report this person to the authorities?
It's
because
questionable.
It looks like especially America, it looks like they're carrying around real guns with their cosplay.
It's. I guess there's the issue of personal space that some people are really polite. When I first started going to conventions, I was really kind of lenient with my boundaries, with my tolerance with
hug
people.
everyone.
And then like...
You get sick of hugging everyone.
Oh my gosh, we've got this massive problem. It's not massive, but it's out there. It's called cosplays not consent. So like some people will come up to a photo, and because like for instance Harley Quinn with the fishnets, people are like, oh, I can touch.
Oh, have a feel.
I can treat
And
her
that's when
as if she's
Boomerang
the character.
punches you in the face.
Yeah, exactly. I've got my baseball bat for
How's
safety.
that for a cosplay experience,
I'm on
asshole?
standby.
So we have to be like really firm with people
Yeah.
and make sure that the boundaries are set.
Because I used to dress up quite a lot in a bird suit.
You look good in fishnets though.
I was the mascot for. They were yellow stockings actually, and they were the chicken legs because I was the mascot for the Manly Sea Eagles.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Stop it.
When I was about 13 or 14.
Did you get fondled?
So yes, all the time. But it was a very, very thick
Guilty.
padding, and everyone's going to hug you and everything like that. But when someone rips your beak off and you're left with your face like this, and I'm like, give me back my fucking beak! I felt so naked, even
would.
though I was covered in this big bird
That's
suit.
it.
You're exposed in a whole
I was
crowd.
the mascot for a few other strange things over the years. I love a good dress up.
Who doesn't?
Who doesn't love a good dress up? So if
That's
anyone's
it.
watching this right now and they're thinking, how the hell do I get in this cosplay thing? What is the best way to get started? How do you just pick a character that you absolutely love and go, I'm going to dress as that?
Yep.
That's
You
it.
have to be invested in the character. Don't do it because it's a trend or a theme for the time. Do it because you want to do it.
You can invent Pirate Batman. I love
Exactly.
when
That's
people just combine a few things and
Yeah.
throw it together and make up their own character.
That's it, because you have nothing to compare it to. You don't have to go off a template. You just got to have fun with it. Don't make it a chore. And there are people that come to Laura and myself all the time. They're like, I'm afraid to get into it because of what other people will think. It's not what it's about. You got one crack at life, Who
Yeah.
cares what other people think?
It's just a dress-up party without, alcohol and a birthday. It's just like the opportunity to go above and beyond with that kind of concept.
Your mum is so colourful. We had
I
her in
love
a previous series of On the Mic, Chrissy Stanley. She's been in so many TV shows, everything from Perfect Match
She's
to
done it
Family
all.
Feud or what is it, The Wheel of Fortune, all these TV shows, and she's even got her own reality TV show that she's working on. And Chrissy does something which is absolutely amazing. She travels around to retirement villages, just making people who are spending their twilight years in a retirement village, making them happy, making them laugh, and she dyes chickens different colors and has like pigeons, I think they are.
You got to experience that firsthand.
Like right in front of me, and some of them I experienced a little bit too much on my hand.
Your poor shirt.
But do you get influenced a lot by your mum because she has such an out there personality?
Oh, that's the reason why I do what I do. And she's such a positive person. And she said to you, she had a crook childhood. So from that point onward, it's always been positivity, laughter, and because she's an entertainer, she encourages that very much so. So it's always good to have her around, for
She's
advice,
a legend.
and
So good.
she's the best. She's my best mate.
So her having all these colourful outfits and colourful chickens and everything, and just celebrating life in the way that she does, is a great way to put everything behind her. Do you think cosplay, a lot for some people who might have gone through tragedy or some crap in their lives, is a good way to just escape?
It's escapism.
Rather than some people might turn to drugs or alcohol and escape.
100%.
Some people just go, I'm going to be Harley Quinn for today and go to this, and I'm just going to forget about all my problems.
That's it.
That's it.
It's escapism.
It's a healthy hobby. I think it's still being a bit shunned and a bit misunderstood, especially from older generations who don't quite understand cosplay. But as my dad always says, I spent this much on baseball gloves for this character, and he goes, oh, at least it's not a bottle of alcohol or like a deck of cigarettes. You know what I mean? It's a really healthy
No, I
coping.
get that off people for free
Yeah.
when I sign an autograph for them. Or get a photo. Oh, thanks for the bottle of JD. What else you got for me?
But yeah, no, it's a really healthy escape. And so there are a lot of people that have gone through hardship and they kind of turn to crafting. It's not just becoming the character, it's the making of the costume and improving your makeup skills and learning how to sew or prop build and all those different aspects. It's like sewing or quilting. It's a relaxing kind of process. Kind of. It can get really stressful.
Oh, yeah.
We get really stressed.
So for people who have never been to a Comic-Con, OzCon, there's so many of them all over the world. Let's just briefly touch on what you can find there, because the first one I ever went to was the biggest one in the world in San
So
Diego,
lucky.
which was mind-blowing. And it has little stalls, everything from people who are selling old comic books to massive stands of people that will sell action figures. And what I loved about it as well, because I'm a voiceover guy, they have a lot of different seminars or talks,
panels.
panels
Yeah,
on different TV shows and movies. So if you just love Stargate, there's a Stargate panel at 4 o'clock this Thursday. We've got to go and see it because Richard Dean Anderson's going to be there talking about what it's been like working on the show. But I got to sit in on a panel with all of the best character voiceover people in the world, and it was so amazing to see people the guy who's been the voice of Goofy his whole life, the guy who's the voice of Transformers, a guy who did the voice of a Wookiee in all the Star Wars movies. Do you know how to do a Wookiee voice?
I don't even want to try. It's just
Do you guys do any
embarrassing.
voices? Can you do any character voices? Because do you make your character voices suit your actual outfit? Talk an American accent as Harley Quinn?
Sometimes I try not to, because it can be a bit overwhelming, because when you're at the convention there's so much going on, so many people coming up to you for photos, you're talking to other people. It's like you need to find appropriate times to be in character.
Yeah.
And I find I'm most comfortable, how do I put it, well, cosplay, a lot of people misinterpret that you're super confident that you're in cosplay. It's actually, when I'm in cosplay, I'm the most self-conscious, because
really?
I'm going above and beyond, and
What
there's
you
a lot
normally
of
do.
eyes on me, and it's like a very attention-drawing thing. So for me,
Some people
I
feel
don't put
comfortable
on the
with that.
voice. Yeah, so
Like, I wear a Larry outfit or something ridiculous, and people looking at me, I'm like, yeah, that's right. Have a good look. And look at what I'm doing. But we're talking about all the different things that go on at Comic-Con, and it's evolved from when it started now as a launch of new movies, a launch of new shows, and especially in the comic book feature film space, they use it as a launch pad for a lot of movies. So they do sneak screenings and premieres.
It gathers up the hype.
Yeah, and like massive parties. Like they had there was a Star Wars launch, which I snuck into and just started interviewing people. And,
we won't tell.
Only way to do it.
And it's so cool. Some of the people I met in there, it was amazing.
Well, when you and I were there, that's when Batman vs Superman and Suicide Squad were gearing up. So that was a massive weekend when those trailers dropped.
And you get to see some of the trailers for the first time.
That's it. They'll give you a sneak peek of footage that they won't release to the general public. So, we've got Avengers Infinity War coming out next month. So that's just going to be big.
And they have some stands at Comic-Con. Like they had the Game of Thrones area. Did you see it that year?
No.
So they
This one's never seen Game of Thrones.
Oh,
I just
really?
want to put that on the internet, because the more and more I exert pressure, the more and more he will
Have you watched
have to
every
watch
episode?
it.
You're
Oh,
like,
every episode.
right.
I've
Well,
read the books.
I got to meet Pedro Pascal,
Stop
who
it.
he's the guy that tried to kill the Man Mountain, but the Man Mountain squashed his head.
Yep.
Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it. But he was there for the launch of Game of Thrones beer.
so cool.
So it's not just launching the shows or the movies; they're launching the products that go along with those shows and movies. Someone like Black Milk. I mean, they're launching tights with prints of Batman, Spider-Man, or whatever on it. So I got to stand there and have a Game of Thrones beer with Pedro Pascal.
That's so cool.
And shoot it. And here it is right now. Here's a little bit of my chat with him.
Pedro Pascal from Game of Thrones. What happened, Oberon? You let Tyrion Lannister down.
I'm sorry. I needed my confession. I got it, and I was done. I'm sorry, Tyrion. I love you, man.
Maybe you were drinking too much Game of Thrones beer.
I was drinking wine, but if there had been beer, I probably would have been drinking that.
What do you think of this amazing Game of Thrones beer? Can we get some over here? What's it like? I haven't even tried it.
It's very full-bodied. It's very rich. It's a beautiful color. It's called Valar Margulis by Omegang, and it's delicious.
Pedro Pascal at Comic-Con. How cool! What a legend!
I want to.
You would have been in your element.
And he has done so well. He's in so many different feature films now, and so many upcoming series. And you meet these people at Comic-Con who are out there promoting these movies and TV shows for the first time. Some of them it's their big break, and then years later you go, oh, what, they've really taken off.
It's crazy. We got to meet the Mountain in Kuwait. He was a guest.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
He's massive.
Big boy.
Yeah, and you'd shake his hand. What did you say? It was like...
shaking a bunch of bananas.
Like, he was so big, but so nice.
And you're like, oh, hello.
Oh, man, Mountain, please let go. That's so painful.
Oh.
So it cost them $3,000 every 2 days to feed him.
What?
Yeah, because he's a powerlifter.
So he has
eats so
like
much.
2 chickens a day, and
So-
they're like all this stuff.
So he probably says, yeah, I'll come along, I'll do that job. You just have to feed me.
And provide-
Little do they know, it's $3,000
That's
worth of
it.
food.
Provide a gym as well, which, in Kuwait, gyms aren't really that big.
So
But
they struggle to find one there. Yeah.
Yeah, just give him a few Q80s. He just has to do some
Throw 'em around.
Q80 lifts. I think that was what he was calling them.
Q80.
Man, that guy's massive.
He's huge. He's my age.
It's ridiculous.
He's my age. He's huge. Nice bloke. Really nice bloke.
Massive. That's
That
cool.
was
So, what movies are coming up that you guys are excited about? And there's a few trailers that have just recently been dropped. You guys must be excited about a few things that are coming up.
So we got
Yep.
Infinity War, Deadpool 2.
Do you think Infinity
Deadpool
War is
2.
going to be good, or is it just Marvel milking it just a bit too much?
I reckon it's going to be good. Now, here's my argument. So the reason why Suicide Squad didn't do so well is because they didn't introduce the characters beforehand. So we had all these new characters
Yes, too
come
much
in
to
instantly.
take on.
Whereas Marvel has been building and building all their characters. Like Iron
Yeah.
Man had 3 solo movies and he's been featured so many times.
Building parts of the universe.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
putting it
And
together.
Guardians, we've had 2 movies already, and it's just been so well built that we know the characters so well that when they all come together, I think it will be quite explosive, because you know everyone, and they're not wasting time introducing.
What do you think in Infinity War? I think Doctor Strangelove is in there. What's his name?
Doctor Strange,
Yeah.
yeah.
Doctor Strange.
Benedict.
That's an old 1960s movie. I'm showing my age. I wasn't even alive then. Doctor Strange is now in the universe fighting off all these monsters alongside all of the other characters from Marvel. I feel like he doesn't fit. I feel like he shouldn't be there.
They're all going
A
to
lot of
play a
people
pivotal
feel that.
role, but like Laura said, there's no explanation needed. There's no introductions needed apart from Thanos, who is the main villain. We only see bits of him in some of the other films.
That's
But
like, I'm Captain America, you're Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Everybody, let's get him. But I feel like when I'm watching Doctor Strange, that's his universe, and that's the way
Yeah.
these special powers work. And then when you put him in a scene with some other people who have special powers and they work differently in that universe, but you put them together, I don't know. Does
I
that seem weird?
understand. I think what's going to be the saving grace of that issue is there are so many people that love the Doctor Strange comics, and so they're a following of him, and everyone has a favorite Marvel character or a favorite Marvel group, and so obviously they're going to want to connect that character. So as much as there's not many people that don't connect with Doctor Strange in his universe, there will be some
They join
people
them
that
together.
do, and
Like I saw
Yeah.
it in the trailer. It's got Doctor Strange. He's doing this thing with the planet and making things move around. And then all these lights came up, and then Captain America runs past. He goes, "Thank you!" And it's his new shield.
Yeah.
It's like, right.
So look,
they
they-
Yeah.
tested my head a little
Yeah.
bit too much.
They
They
all
went
bring
a little bit too far.
they all bring something different to the table.
I
But
loved Black Panther though.
Black Panther was great.
Amazing.
That's
Wakanda
the only
forever.
Marvel movie I ever need ever. That's just
it was so good, and I
refreshing.
had such high hopes for that because of it's all African American cast, and I thought, well, there's not enough African American superheroes, and I just think of the little kids, on the
100%.
yeah, who from the Bronx, and they see all these Caucasian superheroes, and then all of a sudden, it's like this story of Wakanda that they make up from Africa. Sure, they built a wall and they keep everyone else
Yeah.
out, but we won't go into that. But it's just like something for them to look up to and feel a part of.
It
and
gives them
I love that it
relevance.
was so good, and it did really well, and I look forward to seeing.
They have
many
heroes
more of
now,
them.
like true heroes for them. And the funny thing is, Marvel banked for it to tank, because they would just be like, all right,
Just in case.
this is filler until Infinity War,
Yeah.
and it's broken the $1 billion mark. And it's a flawless
They'll be
film.
making more.
Of course. Oh, they have to.
I love it, and the technology they had, and the watch with the smoke and the little holograms and
That's
everything
It was
like
like
that. And
a Wakanda version of Q from James Bond.
Yeah. It was, wasn't it? I was catching that vibe. I'm so glad I liked it. So what else is coming out? What other feature films of
Deadpool 2.
Deadpool 2. I love Deadpool.
It is great.
How good is Deadpool? Just takes the piss out of everything.
Yeah.
Broke the fourth wall, broke the Marvel template.
Ryan Reynolds is just everything. He couldn't have been more perfectly cast.
How much of a say does he have in it? Because I'm getting a vibe that it's like Deadpool has taken a lot of his personality. Or was Deadpool always like that in the comic books?
In the comics, when someone asks what he looks like under there, he goes a cross between a Sharpay and Ryan Reynolds. And a friend of his pointed that out, and he started reading the comics, and he goes, I love this guy.
Really?
So the film has been in development for 11 years. They did test footage that leaked online, and then Fox had no choice but to greenlight it because the fans are like, you have to do this.
That's a great idea. So Ryan Reynolds helped create it.
Yeah.
Essentially, by making his own little trailer, and all the fans said, this has to happen.
Yep.
But it's just like, he's such a lovable character, always breaking that fourth wall, and he was actually... he was mocking, wasn't he? They were mocking a DC character, was it?
Green Lantern, when he was Green Lantern.
Green Lantern. So, yeah, no, it's like crazy how the Marvel and the DC universe and the comics, they interact, and then we create these characters and movies that, it's just such a crazy world.
It's so cool. Have you ever got to go to any of the sound stages where they shoot those kind of things, or behind the scenes at Universal Studios or anything like that? Or is that fourth wall behind the scenes stuff that you don't really want to know about it? You just want to stay in the cosplay universe.
I have done the Warner Brothers tour with a mate of mine. He builds bat suits over in the States, like as a private artist. We met up one day when I got into LA, did the Warner Brothers tour, and we saw the Conan set, the Big Bang Theory set, everything. And then they take you into where they've got all the bat suits on display. They had the Harry Potter stuff on display. So it's great. It's cool to see.
I love Harry Potter.
Oh, it's a Harry Potter night.
You guys love all this fantasy stuff. Are there any fantasy movies that you just can't stand and you think that's just ridiculous?
Oh, see, I favorite anything Pokemon and Harry Potter.
What the fuck happened to Pokemon Go? Got to catch them all. They've caught them all. There's none left.
Out in the park at
Don't
night,
get me
not
started.
creepy.
There's no more Pokemon Go's to catch.
No.
They've all gone.
No, I'm a massive Pokemon fan, but
you are a Pokemon fan.
Oh
but
my
you hated
gosh.
Pokemon Go.
Hated Pokemon Go.
Why?
I got into it for the first week.
Because you know what? It was your game. You liked it, and then all of a sudden it was mainstream.
No.
You're like,
Do you know why?
I had this when it was cool to me.
I lived in Rhodes at the time Pokemon Go was released, and Rhodes was this massive Pokestop, and everyone would come from far and wide all across Sydney to come to Rhodes to play Pokemon Go, because that's where all the best Pokemon were. We caught a Dragonite once, there was an Electabuzz. It was just like psychotic. But everyone would flock on the streets. People would stop their car in the middle of the road. We had like 1 hour traffic jams to get from one side of the suburb to the other because people would just flock to Pokemon Go. And this kids' park was overrun with players 24/7 the whole time. So it absolutely destroyed Rhodes. So the whole council had to like keep flocking Pokemon Go with emails saying, please remove the 3 Pokestops at this kids' park because it would become an event. Like it was like the Easter show. That's the amount of people that would come to Rhodes on the train after work and just ruin my whole sense of living. I just couldn't.
Didn't like Pokemon anymore. What about video games? You guys play video games? Sort of fits into that world.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a gamer, more so than this one.
I'm not a big gamer. I love the Batman Arkham series, the Uncharted series, but other than that, I'd rather just be building stuff.
What are you playing?
I'm a big Rockstar fan. I like PlayStation. I'm not an Xbox girl, so...
Hear that, PlayStation? Here's someone you should sponsor.
That's it, damn straight. And I love Rockstar games.
Yeah,
Red
cool.
Dead Redemption's been my all-time favorite
Oh,
game
how
since
good is that?
forever.
That is
and
an
the
amazing
second
game.
one is coming out soon, and I'm going to die.
Yeah, wicked.
So that's like what I'm most anticipating. Yeah.
Awesome. That's cool, man. Guys, thank you so much for coming on the show. I feel like I could speak to you for another couple of hours because you've got so many great stories from Comic-Cons that you've been to all over the world. You're making your stuff, you're sewing your outfits, and you know, in some special way, in a lot of ways, you're changing people's lives because you're making them realize that they can escape. They can be something different.
That's what it's all about.
And you make such a cute couple. I predict really big things for you both. And let's get you back on in a few months and talk more. I'd like to catch up with you regularly so we can talk about all the new movies that are coming out and all that kind of stuff. That would be wicked.
Awesome.
Yeah, keen.
And bring your mum if you want.
On your Chrissy.
We could turn it into a family event.
She's running around spraying pink everywhere.
Oh my gosh,
That's what she'll
love
do.
it.
Thank you for being on the mic, my cosplay friends.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
So where
Mike.
can we find you? Where can people watching track you down? Your YouTube and your Insta and all that kind of
Cool.
stuff.
Well, my Instagram for cosplay is Infamous by Laura, and then I have my personal one for fashion, which is Laura Gilbert, and my YouTube and Facebook links are Infamous by Laura as well.
Nice.
And then on the YouTube is Cosplay Chris, and on the Instagrams, Cosplay Chris. Nice and easy.
You're easy. And I've got like here's
You're
a
good.
list.
She knows what she
Full-time
wants.
job running all that stuff. How do you do it?
We don't.
You just have to do it.